Yo, 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 this is Two Chains along with Silly Sellers of the Big Go Belt Wrestling Podcast. Day one of the UK Championship Tournament is in the books. And, usually we record on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but I don't know, man. After this, I felt like we had to just get something out really quick because, man, what a day one that was. First off, Silly Sellers, how you doing today?
Man, I'm good. How you feeling, Two Chains?
I got this cold, man, so I'm probably sound all snotty and everything, but I'll get through it. But all right, man. Like, first off, like, how are you feeling right now?
I'm good. I have my, and I don't mean to sound as a Debbie Downer, but I have my positives and negatives when it comes to these types of tournaments, and I always see futuristically of how it's going to be, built on in the future, and that's only because we know we had our Cruiserweight Classic, we had our Tag Team Champions, our Dusty Tag Team Championship. The UK Championship, it looks like a new title that's going to be unveiled. So my thing is, how is this going to be built into the WWE? Is this going to be like a UK programming that could be a weekly basis that will happen on Saturday or Sunday afternoons just for the UK? I mean, what's the ultimate goal here?
Well, all right. Well, Triple H already said basically, if you didn't catch the UK Championship Tournament special, that this is working towards weekly programming. So that is happening. The belt's been shown already. The belt looks awesome. Compared to that paper mache is the CW the cruiserweight belt, which is absolutely terrible. So on that note, there's two positive. You know the end game. You see the belt. The belt looks good, and this was done live. This wasn't pre-recorded as the CWC was at Full Sail. So a lot of positives on that note, and I think that after you done seen what the CWC was and the conclusion and the end result of it being on Raw and it didn't mesh good. This is everything that you want from the beginning. They have the platform afterwards. The belt looks nice, and this is live.
It's true. That's true. But I guess my gripe is if you're going to do something like this, and I did miss the part with the weekly programming, the special that talked about the weekly.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you do that, I think it'll be a greater effect. And even though the belt looks great, it does look great. I thought this would be a great way to bring back your European title to still have some nostalgic feel to WWE. In my opinion, WWE's best titles in the Attitude Era.
I mean, I think right now, they're moving towards all new belts, all new designs, and just a whole new era. And considering that since the draft, everything was being branded towards new era, I think this is absolutely the right approach. Yeah, the European Championship is something that we're going to always be able to cherish, such as the Hardcore Championship as well for me, which is one of my favorites, especially how it was defended. But this is a good thing. And I think moving forward and with the success of the CWC, you only want to see something that capitalizes on it and only better. And I think this is absolutely where you start. So
if they're going to do weekly programming, it will be fitting if you have William Regal be the general manager or, some type of leadership effect that have him on this weekly programming, if it goes further to that point. I really think that would be a great call for WWE to do that.
I'm sure they're going to have some England pioneers or investors and people who put England on the map definitely will have their fair share for it. William Regal is the face of NXT, which is great. So he has his opportunity. It would just I guess it comes down to who's next to fall in line for that. Maybe Fit Finlay is somebody that you would like to see every instead of behind the scenes, but actually. Some FaceTime actually. So there's a lot of possibilities there. But instead of predicting what's happening in the future, let's talk about today, what just happened. Okay. The UK crowd, how awesome was they? The chants, just the energy from beginning to end, everything.
It makes it so much appealing. Like I was thinking about this in my head. That was probably my premier reaction when I heard how the fans were going. I would say 60% of a match of why it's good has to do with the fans, and it's barely all reactions. Half of that has to do with what the wrestlers are doing, but half of that of how the fans are engaged. Now, for example, if fans are not interested in your match and it's boring, they're not going to give you that credit of giving you a chance and everything. They're going to react to what you do, and that's part for the wrestlers. But the part for the fans, and once again, I always say this goes to an all-adult crowd, they are going to be in it to make sure they do whatever they can to make sure that pay-per-view, that special event, that episode is a great episode. And just, from the 10 chants, from the countouts, it was just great from start to finish. And they was in it for the whole 2 hours.
Yeah. The Empress Ballroom is someplace I have to have on my bucket list, someplace to visit for sure.
Right.
The architecture is something I'm very big on. I'm very big on architecture and sightseeing and stuff like that. And it's just something I definitely have to do one day. But yeah, the fans, all ages, it seems. I've seen some little kids in the front row and stuff like that. It was a good mix. And it was, like you said, from the whole 2 hours, they were very much involved. And shout out to my man Jesus, because not Jesus the wrestler, but Jesus as in Jesus Christ, because he might be the most over person today with the chant.
Yes.
I thought that was really good. But I guess to start off real quick, this is, like I said, a quick reaction video. We're not going to go down each and every match, but is there any particular wrestler, match, or just any event, move or spot that really stuck out to you?
Jordan Devlin to start off. And with Jordan Devlin, it's not the fact what he did in the ring that was particularly special. It was the storytelling of his match. By him being a Finn Balor protege, is this somebody that they're trying to push? This is somebody that can be the future of England wrestling within WWE. It was just interesting to see how much time they built giving to him for this match. And I'm just wondering to see how, as he goes in round 2 or 3 or whatever, how far he goes, or what's going to happen. And the ending of his match was kind of interesting because it was a dangerous spot that he had with Danny Burch. But it was just it's just interesting to see how they're going to build him throughout this tournament.
Here's one thing, and I wish D-Wayne was able to get on. We have storytelling right now, which you've already alluded to. But not only just that, no, you do have a legitimate feud already being built
Yes.
with a questionable, controversial ending. No matter for whatever reason it was, if it was just a stoppage because of the blood, or actually that was the ending that was booked.
Which I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Me neither. Just like I said, you have something there, and I'm very much interested in that. Dave Burch also, even though he lost, I expect to see him around more.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say the least. NXT is obviously a good place to start, but I think with the NXT debuted already, and with this, it's definitely just this Kickstarter to move forward. And now you like I said, you have a feud that you're building. So no matter if you're going to see that on NXT or on the UK weekly televised programming, you have something already to look forward to. That is a step beyond the CWC, because people won, and then it was over, and then it was like, now what?
Right.
I mean, considerably, almost everybody in CWC felt like a face to me, except for Brian Kendrick. So like at the end, like Brian Kendrick has to be involved because he's the only heel. But
yes,
you saw an establishment of heels and faces throughout this first round, and another bonus. I really, really cannot think of anything negative, sort of say, as the booking or the storytelling or anything. There was one particular wrestler I wasn't too fond of. I thought he looked pretty poor in his maybe his conditioning, but other than that, everything was just really well done to me, and that's why I said let's get some thoughts out right now while it's fresh, And
let me add to that, one character, even though he lost his match, I was very fond of. And I was very fond of when he did his pre-video before he came out, and his charismatics that he displayed in the ring was very good. And that was H.C. Dyer. I'm huge on him, even though he lost, because I feel like he could be the Cedric Alexander of this tournament. And remember, Cedric Alexander lost early. He lost in the second round, but Cedric Alexander put on great spots and actually got an ovation that he had to do a curtain call at the end of his match. And I'm not saying H.C. Dyer had that type of match in his abilities, but his just character development that I can see him, and somebody that can be like an underdog, not an underdog like he's going to win the championship, but an underdog being like a top player in this division.
Yeah. All right. Well, to not put you on the spot or anything, I know you said you didn't have a lot of previous experience with a lot of the wrestlers, and nor have many of us really. I did my little, some about to say investigating. I did some of my research and back some in the middle of last year, especially trying to get myself a little bit familiar with Progress, which is the main promotion in England.
Right.
But with that being said, with you not having that much experience with some of the with some of the talent, how do you feel? How do you feel now after round one? Do you feel like they did a good job with introducing everybody to you, or is there still a big blur over some people as far as maybe their styles, their backgrounds, or was there anybody that did not really distinguish themselves as a face or a heel to you? Like, give me something like that.
That's a very good question, and I'm gonna speak from a general fans experience, and I'll speak from my experience. A general fans experience, you may want to have more of a background of who these guys are, maybe some segments of where they used to fight or where there other footage of them wrestling in different venues. That may help with fans. But for me and you, that goes to these indie shows, and even though sometimes when we go to these indie shows, we never heard of these wrestlers before. Maybe some whispers on Twitter, and we look them up as we're there at the match. But we can already analyze within 5 minutes, oh, this guy can go, or this guy may need some help in the ring or some development. And like you even said, you notice some people's conditioning, and that you can easily tell, okay, they need conditioning, but you can see the potential that they have. And that's why I don't need to know the background of these wrestlers, because I feel like whatever they give me in the ring when I see them that 5-10 minutes, I have a pre-analyzation of where they can go. So to me, I didn't see it as a big deal of me missing anything about these wrestlers. I'm not knowing them. For a common fan, they may need a little bit more. It just depends on what type of wrestling fan you are.
I agree, but I think with giving a platform and this being what it is,
right?
I feel like there's always a little bit of intrigue to say, like, who is this person, sort of say. I like the fact that there was not so much emphasis on their style of wrestling, so that you was able to see it in the ring and also draw, parallels to legends or current wrestlers to their style, so that it makes sense. So that if you was not familiar with catch wrestling, that you was able to see it, to say like, oh, I know that style. That's sort of say Zack Sabre Jr., who you just got introduced to. So
yep.
You're building your own knowledge and database moving forward. And I think they did a good job with that, with not leading so much on and everything. Another thing I want to talk about real quick, Michael Cole and Nigel McGuinness. How did you like them on mic today?
See, this is the problem where I want to get your feedback.
Commentary.
Yeah, I did on the commentary. I did not hear it a lot because I was doing multiple things as I had it on, so my volume was very low.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see when I saw the intro of them coming in. Nigel looked like he was a natural. He was excited for it. Michael Cole sometimes is too mainstream for me. Sometimes I wish he can get that indie feel, like Morrow, like, when he's commentating. It's just too generic. It's just like sometimes when you hear it on professional sports, like for football and basketball, you can tell somebody just too mainstream. Let's get to some background information, like you did some research. Let's get to some unknown facts that you could bring in to the scenario. So I don't know completely. What did you think?
I thought they did a good job complimenting each other. I tweeted it, and I still stand firm behind that. Michael Cole did a good job. Nigel McGuinness did a good job, and then he really started to open himself up towards the end of about the hour of the show, considering that he started dropping knowledge, background information, tying in other experiences that he had, and I think that's all good for commentary.
Good call.
I thought they did a good job, which I had my reserves about Michael Cole in the beginning, but moving forward, I think they're going to be just fine. And who they're going to pair Nigel McGuinness up with, if he is going to stay on commentary for the UK programming. But I'd be really interested to see who's going to be able to keep that momentum, considering that Michael Cole, is going to have to be in the United States for Raw and considerably other promotional things.
Exactly.
So did you have any favorites? The fans were really behind Trent Severin, Mustache Mountain. Who else? No names are dropping out of my head real quick. Oh, of course, I'm well firm behind Pete Dunne. Sam Gradwell is also he's the hometown kid, so there's some momentum behind that as well. But yeah, anybody stand out to you that's still obviously that's still in the tournament if you haven't already had to change your pick. I will say this too. Knowing from our times at Nova Pro, you was really, really fond of oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. You know who I'm talking about? The sort of say the hardcore wrestling from the CZW, and he had that Durst. Oh, I can't think of his first name.
I can't think of his first name either. I can't. I know you're talking about. I cannot think of his name. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name, but yes, you're absolutely right. For this promotion, I'm not sure if I have a favorite quite yet. I want to see how these higher level matches go. Meaning to the second and third rounds. But like I said, I do like H.C. Dyer just on his character. I wish he would have won. But I'm still intrigued to see if I have a favorite coming out though. Not sure yet.
Yeah. I would, I'm really surprised that you're not behind Wolfgang, considering that he has that same style of who I'm trying to think about, and it's really not clicking.
And that's why that's why I want to see Wolfgang in another match. And I was thinking about him, but I didn't want to pull that trigger on it yet, though. But he does, and you're absolutely right. But
Tim Donks, my bad. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how he will do against Trent Seven, in the second round. But not completely sure yet.
Yeah, gonna be a good round. We'll get together. Maybe cut a reaction video tomorrow too, if it's anywhere as close to how hot today was, which I sure will be.
And but it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. A couple of people tweeted and texted and said it was unaware that it was starting. So just a little heads up for whoever listening. 3 to 5 tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. And if we don't record something about 5:30 tomorrow, then we'll cut something on Wednesday or Thursday about about 8 Eastern Standard Time. But other than that, I have to say that I was impressed with the Wolfgang versus Tyson T-Bone match. Tyson T-Bone, like I tweeted, looks like that one guy you do not want to mess around with at the bar. I definitely like how he came in as if he was like fresh off work and he heard somebody was beefing with him. It's good to see Mark Andrews, who is a familiar face from TNA, to put out a really, really more of a standard traditional WWE style / the 205 Live style. So good to see him go over, and it's good to see people who's survived from TNA to still make a way in the wrestling community. So look forward to seeing more for him. But other than that, I'm still sticking with my pick, Pete Dunne. If he does not win, I think it's strictly because of the fact of how over he is and how predictable that people think he is going to win. Sort of say how like people thought Kota Ibushi was going to win, but So I would not be surprised if I seen somebody like way out of the blue. I like Joseph Connors as well, who is Michael Cole's pick. But we'll see. But anyway, like I said, quick reaction video. Didn't want to hold your time up, and we got things to do. It's a Saturday. So any closing remarks or anything you look forward to tomorrow or you're expecting tomorrow?
I just want to see another good wrestling match, and by the fact, I guess, that is right in the middle of the Cowboys game for the playoff game. I hope WWE or call this WWE WWE Europe or WWE London, whatever they want to call this new promotion in the future, just make sure they continue to bring their A game because it was a great start.
Yeah. I expect to see a really good match between Wolfgang and Trent Seven, 2 fan favorites. I'm predicting that's going to be a match of tomorrow. But other than that, I'll be locked in. I can't wait to see it.
Awesome.
Anyway, 2 Chainz there, Silly Sellers, 2 out of the 5 crew. We'll catch you guys at the times I posted. Thanks for checking out this video. We will talk to you guys later.